Hello, everybody. Welcome to He Said, She Said. Today is actually He Said, He Said. Or I can be the she. I don't have any makeup. Well, that's totally a lie. I have more makeup on than Ophelia usually wears. In the hot seat is producer Jay today. It's his birthday. I thought it would be nice to have him on. Also because Miss She Said is sitting at home in air conditioning today. Could not make the show because it's too fucking hot outside.
She tried multiple times apparently.
Texting and calling. Oh, in any event, we do feel bad. I know what it's like to have to put all that shit on and have it sweat off your face as soon as you step out of the house. So
we're feeling a little right now, actually.
Yeah, we are. It's been hot. It's been hot in San Diego for, God, the past couple of weeks. I was surprised that we had, well, even last week when we had Grace and Glitz on. I mean, Grace didn't wear any makeup, and Glitz barely wore any makeup. They were like, no, fuck this, it's too hot.
But we had that hair on, so it was...
Yeah, we did. And I don't think we have it on right now, so. No. Anyways, welcome. We're live at Urban Moapos.
We love this place.
Our favorite place in the whole world. It's happy hour, almost time for 5 o'clock shots in about 20 minutes. How are you?
I'm doing well.
You're doing well?
Doing well.
I'm so glad you're doing the show. This is going to be so great. I can't wait until she watches it. She's going to hate life right now. But she is sitting...
Her fault.
She's sitting pretty in her wonderful air conditioning at her house.
You know, it'd be even better is if she decides to come and she shows up halfway through the show.
Right, and you're sitting there, playing He Said, because apparently I'm the She Said with all the makeup on. So anyway, happy birthday. I won't tell anybody how old you are.
I appreciate that.
Because you're super duper young. You're younger than me, which is all that really matters.
I'm younger than Donald.
Young, are you?
Actually, we're about, I don't know. I'm not.
No.
Yeah.
You're older than Donald.
Am I? Mm-hmm. We're not going to talk about that though, so.
Oh, okay. Well, Donald's like 12, pretty much.
Perfect.
You know, because that black don't crack. It's well,
cocoa butter does wonders.
It's that Asian skin too, you know, pearl cream and oil of Olay and everything. Well, Indian, whatever.
Burmese. British Burmese is what it is.
Yes, British Burmese.
British Burmese.
Can't forget the British part.
Yes. He never does.
Oh my God. I can't wait until Donald watches this show. Because we love you very much, Donald.
We do.
What did you do this week?
I was working up in the Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga area.
Tell everybody again, you've been a guest on our show before, which they probably have watched, which was ages ago. Ages ago. You were a guest when we still were doing the live with.
Correct.
And everybody did get to know a little bit about you. You work in law enforcement.
I do.
What do you call your job? What is it called?
Parole agent.
Parole agent. Sexy.
Yeah. The official is parole service associate, but
parole service associate. Okay. So you often have to go up to, what is it, Inland Empire? No, Riverside County.
Inland Empire.
Inland Empire.
Yeah, we're on a special project right now because of AB 109, which was turning a lot of our offenders who are parole violators over to the counties when they violate the parole.
Right.
We're going through all their case files and interviewing them to determine if they actually are going to go to parole or to the counties, what's called PRCS, which is post-release community supervision.
Post-release community supervision.
Which means they're going to be supervised by county probation officers instead of state parole agents.
Okay. I was always curious, what's the difference between a probation officer and a parole agent?
Probation officer works for the county.
Okay.
Most of them work for the courts. When somebody is given probation, they have to do probation officer reports. They basically do the same things as a parole agent does. They go out to their residence. You make sure that they're abiding by rules. You drug test them. And then parole, it's just when you supervise them when they're coming out of state prison. Okay. So if somebody ever says they've been on parole, it's because they were in prison. Because they were in prison. Yeah. And so somebody who's on probation has not necessarily been to jail. Has not necessarily, well, they've probably been arrested, but the court has basically said, okay, they tried them and they said, okay, here's what your punishment's going to be. Because not everybody goes to jail when they're convicted. Right. The judge will basically say, okay, you get 3 years formal probation. Basically what that means is you're on probation for 3 years and you're out on the street and your probation officer comes to visit your house. However, if you screw up in that time period, then the judge can send you to prison. To prison, got it. So then you go to jail because you're a bad motherfucker. Correct. Got it. Correct. And so you work between here and you've been doing this special assignment thing up there for a while now, haven't you? Yeah, it's been about 6 months now. 6 months? Yeah. coming to a close soon? We're supposed to end the end of September, which is when the project's supposed to come to a close. And I will be back here in San Diego full time.
Full time. So. And you work out
up there or down here?
No, here.
Here, RJ Donovan.
RJ Donovan, yes. That's right. We talked about that because Jack was doing his internship down there.
Yes.
I remember all.
Yep.
Well, that's fabulous. Yeah. I know. I get to see you. We spent some time together this weekend for CityFest.
Yes.
Did you enjoy CityFest?
I love CityFest.
Ooh, love CityFest.
Little disappointed I didn't get to dunk Ophelia, but it made up for it when you ran up and pressed the button. So.
Yes. See, well, I told her that was payback for last year because that's exactly what she did to me several times, mind you. I just want to point that out. It was all for charity, so that's good.
Yeah.
Mom's Kitchen made, I think, about $1,600 from the dunk tank,
wow.
which is pretty awesome.
Half of it was probably from Ophelia.
in that half an hour time span that she was in there, the whole girl didn't get.
You see that line of people waiting to dunk her?
Well, you saw people keep giving me balls, and even though I didn't hit one, I was close on a couple.
Yep,
I
was too. I was too.
One, but they kept me about 20 balls.
Yeah, close but no cigar for me. So.
No, yeah, that's. And I actually did film that, but we'll probably never see the.
You will never see.
We'll never see the video.
Nope.
No, we did have a good time. We went down to Brass Royale. Of course, they're awesome. They're the host location for our Monday night show, they said, which if you're not watching, you definitely should be watching. They're awesome for us. We had a really good time there.
We did.
We went out to eat, spent time with friends. It was blazing hot.
Yes.
I know I got a little bit of a farmer tan.
Yeah, I got one too.
I'm feeling the heat right now as I talk about it on my face. And I had 70 sunblock on too. See, I'm a Jew. I burn. So.
Well, see, mine is the Irish blood. I burn too. So.
You actually did pretty good though. You burned.
Well, I had already burned a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
and to me, when I burn, it'll fade into a tan, and then once I start, then I'm fine after that. So.
That's right. And as I said, today's your birthday.
Today is my birthday.
But the little event that we're having for your birthday, which is an unbunching of the panties for all of your friends who will be watching this episode because they can't wait.
Yes.
Is this weekend, which we'll all
it is Saturday.
Be having a little event for you at Baja Betty's, another place that we love to go to. So, I mean, that's pretty bad. That was my weekend. That's exactly what I did. Other than I went on patrol. And speaking of patrol, I should welcome you as well to the Stonewall Board of Directors.
Thank you.
You are the new vice president.
Yes, I am.
And I am no longer the president. I have done it. And I'm now
you've passed the torch.
Passed the time. I'm a lowly little volunteer now. I shouldn't say lowly. We're the ones that make it happen.
Yes.
But yeah, so we now have 7 new board members on Stonewall Citizen Patrol.
All from very different backgrounds, and so I think that's going to be good for the organization. I think that because everybody that's on the board, I have met in passing maybe once or twice, but we're not friends. I don't really know them. I mean, now that we've gotten to know each other a little bit better, but I think that a lot of times, not necessarily that this happened, but I notice in past organizations, you have friendships that get in the way of the well-being of the organization. And I think in this case, because the people who are involved don't hang out together on a regular basis, I think that's going to really do a lot to allow us to concentrate on the business of the organization.
Right.
So.
Well, and it also brings a lot of different perspectives of how the organization itself can grow.
Yeah.
And whereas if it were a group of people that already know each other, they're going to want to grow it in one direction.
Right.
Versus several different directions, which only will strengthen the organization from the top down and bottom up. And Stonewall has been close to my heart since I joined from the beginning in 2006, and I really am excited to see it grow. I'm very glad that you guys came on board. We have a great executive board right now, which is Larry McMinn, who's president, Jay, of course, who's vice president, Benny Cartwright, who everybody knows who's loved in the community, is secretary, and Karen Stone, who is very involved in Pride, that a lot of people do know in town, is the treasurer.
Yes. And
then we have 3 other adjunct, I guess, just standard board members. Standard, I don't know.
Nikki Birdie, Rick Piles. And Edwin Lord.
Edwin Lord, yes. So we're very excited. Another 2 years plus of good deeds that Stonewall does every weekend. I was out this weekend. I was out patrolling this weekend on Saturday night, which leads me into our next topic.
Yes.
So we're going to jump right in. We actually patrolled together.
Yes.
So you came on ride along. We had another ride along with us, Nestor, who was fantastic.
Mr.
It was
Lopez.
his 2nd or 3rd ride along with Stonewall.
Donald Franklin was there with us.
Donald, of course.
Oh.
No, I use last names all the time. I don't give a shit. So we were on patrol from 9 to 12 on Saturday night, and had you heard prior to all of the hullabaloo that's been in the media? Let me preface this by saying we're getting ready to talk about the lily pond vandalism in Balboa Park, which has kind of taken over the headlines of everything that's happened here in San Diego and kind of nationally.
I was going to say, it's gone. I was getting texts from friends in Minneapolis and Denver saying that it made their news.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, Denver, it absolutely did make their news. It made their like top news. I think particularly because of the politics that are behind it. But first and foremost, did you hear anything about the water gun fight before?
I had seen, because I believe the event was an open event on Facebook. So when your friends are invited, it shows up in your event feeds, and you can join it.
Right.
So I had actually seen the invite, and I read a little bit of it, and wasn't really my cup of tea. So
yeah, big water gun fight, kind of. I don't want to say a free-for-all, but it was an open public event. There were limited rules of engagement, if you will, on how the whole thing was kind of put together very
haphazardly.
Mamsy-pamsy.
Yeah.
So it was just show up and, water gun fight at midnight and big.
Right.
It's the second one they've done. Last year, not a lot of people showed up to. Apparently this year, 1,600 to 2,000 people showed up to.
Right.
And the result was, after midnight, the destruction of the lily pond, which is a century-old sort of iconic pond in Balboa Park, which is a national park.
Right outside the Botanical Gardens.
Right outside the Botanical Gardens. That is filled with koi and turtles and lily ponds. What was happening was people were using the water from the lily pond to fill their water guns, and in the process they trampled everything around it and caused quite a bit of destruction and damage. They initially said that they were using the water because they wanted to use the water in the fountain, and the fountain water had been shut off because of maintenance.
Oh.
So they didn't know where they were going to refill all of their water guns for this super fun water fight that they were having. And, well, gee, you'd think that people would come with water bottles, I don't know. Anyways.
Or common sense.
Or common sense, exactly, to not fill your shit from the lily pond.
Right.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid number one. So what has happened is, in the course of this event, there have been numerous stories and articles about who organized this and what happened, and apparently there were 7 to 9 different organizers, and they all need to be held accountable, and there were photos taken and videos taken, and there have been websites that have emerged that are trying to raise money to help with the replanting and getting it all back to normal, which it actually has happened.
Yeah, they've met the goal of what it's going to cost to repair the pond.
So, and that is through generous donations, people feeling like they wanted to give of their own money to help make this right through Friends of Balboa Park, which Balboa Park, of course, being a national park, and they are a 501c3, absolutely.
And I would actually go as far to say as to be a cornerstone of our physical community.
Yes,
as far as
absolutely. Because of what it represents and where it is in San Diego, when you come to San Diego, one of the places that you go to besides the zoo and besides SeaWorld is Balboa Park.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the zoo is in Balboa Park.
Right.
So, $10,000+ was the estimated damage. That's the money that they've raised. Now, one of the event organizers or someone that was listed as an event organizer stepped forward to try to take the blame for it.
Right.
And it kind of got our local politicians involved. Our mayoral candidates have been pointing a lot of fingers at each other. And some of the local LGBT media, which we will not mention on this show, have been had some finger pointing their way as well. Right. And it's kind of blown up into this big, huge thing that now that we think about it in retrospect 5 days later, the rebuilding is happening, or it's happened, and they've no koi fish were harmed, no turtles were harmed. There was a lot of foliage damage, there was some pump damage and things like that. But all in all, the money that has been raised by concerned citizens has really fixed the pond and will make sure that it can be sustained. Now, in making sure that the people that were responsible pay retribution.
Right.
That's kind of where we're at right now.
Right.
And a lot of people are, this is where all the finger pointing is going on. What do you think about how they are really playing this out in the media, especially here locally, with our mayoral candidates pointing fingers at each other? And do you think that this is...
Well, the one thing that I noticed as far as a lot of the things posted on Facebook, and there was actually an article on it that you had posted, and I mean, it wasn't even like you commented on this article, you just posted the article and just let all your friends kind of jump in. And the one thing that I noticed about it is, as far as Jonathan Heier and Carl DeMaio. I know a lot of people in the community don't care for Carl DeMaio, but my problem is just because this event happened to be posted on a site that he owns, the people are automatically, or his partner owns rather, that's what I meant, Jonathan Heier,
right.
that they're trying to link that to Carl DeMaio, and I think that, to me, what I see is that people in our community, a lot of people, I mean, some, rightfully so, despise him. And instead of looking at the facts and realizing how far removed that was from him, they are looking for anything they possibly can to be able to say, oh, it's Carl's fault, this is his fault, he needs to pay for this, and he should step up and blah, blah, blah. And I think that's part of the problem, is that people are doing that, and I don't think it's justified.
Right. So they're over politicizing an issue that, while it may have been promoted or reported or whatever it was on his site, we should say that it was promoted on other news outlets.
The Reader, for example.
Promoted throughout Facebook and Twitter. So, SDGLN was not the only one that was. And I just said that I wouldn't say it. Oh, there you go, free plug.
Also, I was going to say that as far as on the flip side, people were accusing Bob Filner of, kind of behind the scenes reminding people that Carl DeMaio is gay by saying his partner needs to be held accountable and he should step up.
Gay baiting.
Yeah, and I don't think that's what he was doing. No. I think that he was basically saying that he was doing what a politician does. He was saying that, well, he connected the dots, and I don't think they were really connected, but a politician will do that to make their case. And he was saying it would be the same if Carl DeMaio's partner were a female. If it was someone in the community, he would say, Carl DeMaio's wife or girlfriend, blah, 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 who owns this site, needs to step up, and it would be the same thing. I don't think that that's what Filner was doing when he did that.
Well, and a lot of it boiled down to something that I believe SDGLN and Jonathan had done during the whole Pride, when Carl was walking through Pride and Carl had a contingency in the Pride Parade. There was a big event that happened here in San Diego with Turn Your Back on Carl DeMaio because of many in our community, what they feel about his politics and his policies, particularly towards his own community. And Jonathan, and on the flip side of that, they had all accused the labor unions of being the ones that had been responsible and organized it, because they had retweeted and apparently shared some things on Facebook about it happening. So they were saying, look, if SDGLN can put this on there, then there's culpability on SDGLN and Carl DeMaio and Jonathan Hale's side. If they are saying that the culpability lies with labor unions, who they're saying are the ones that organized the Turn Your Back on DeMaio thing, which actually had nothing to do with labor at all. It had everything to do with community members who were just upset with
not
Carl.
happy with him. And
so it was one of those what's good for the goose is not good for the other goose sort of situations. And so I think that's kind of where Bob was leading that the finger pointing and the accusations. They had a debate this week, which was really awkward to watch.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It was awful and awkward and kind of cringeworthy, and nothing really got discussed other than Lily Pond and people need to come forward. And I think for the most part what I'm trying to say is that the people that were involved in this are grown-ass adults. They're not 12-year-old kids. They're not, setting off illegal fireworks in some neighborhood next to children who are too young to be around that sort of stuff. These were grown people who understood what they were doing, whether or not they want to admit it or not. That every action has consequence. And whether that action you understood was either breaking the law or shouldn't have been done, bottom line is it has consequences. It's the same thing if you choose to have a shit ton of beer and get in your car and drive home. You don't mean to do it, but you are so intoxicated by the actual alcohol that you do it. And so the consequence is you have to pay the price if you're caught.
And that goes for both the participants and the organizers. Because my issue with the organizers is that, and I think I posted this on something that you had written, when they organize this, your squirt guns or your water guns only have a certain amount of water in them, and you're going to exhaust them fairly quickly. So you have to have a replenishment water source in order to fill them up. And in Balboa Park, there's only two, the fountain and the koi pond. So anybody who didn't take that into consideration, to me, you're irresponsible at best and negligent at worst. And you need to take, whether or not you thought it through, whatever, you need to take responsibility. You fucked up. And I think that the organizers need to step forward and pay for it. Well, I think the participants need to pay for it as well. Everybody who was involved in that event needs to step up to the plate and say, look, we fucked up. We need to pay for this.
What I did was wrong. One gentleman already did that.
But
we're not quite sure.
Hardwick, is that was his name?
Yes, Matthew Hardwick.
But the problem what you have people doing now is where this water gun fight was all over Facebook, all over Twitter, people talking about it. As soon as this incident happened and it became a big public thing, all of a sudden those pages started coming down. And all the organizers they started deleting everything. And so people were trying to hide their culpability, basically. And
that right there is proof that they know what they did was wrong. And stepping up to the plate and saying, I'm sorry, it was wrong of me to do this, I want to make restitution, is really all that needs to be said. There needs to be no further finger pointing, no further blame, no further explanation. We don't need to bring in communities that didn't really have anything to do with it, i.e. the recovery community, any other council members that didn't need to be mentioned, politicians, things like that. The bottom line is if you were involved in this, you fucked up, own it, pay your restitution,
step forward and do the right thing.
Let's move forward so this does not have to be top of the line on our very, very contentious mayoral debate this year. Let's just say.
Because if these people step forward, they say, look, I screwed up, I'm going to help pay the price, the story's going to go away because there's not going to be anywhere for the media to run with it. But if you keep hiding and the media is going to keep looking and looking, and it's just going to continue on. So just step forward, pay your dues, and let's move on.
Thank you. See? Wow, we actually agreed.
If for lightning to strike us.
I love it when we do that. That's kind of what Ophelia does too when we actually agree. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come right back, we've got a special group of people that are here today to show you a little hotness, a little sports, a little sexy. And we are going to have some swag to give away too, so you're going to want to stay tuned. At the end of the show, we're going to tell you how you can get this swag, and who knows, it may even be signed. I don't know if you want it signed, but you never know. They might give you their phone number. All right, so we'll be right back.
Be right back.
We are back. And yes, the set has changed a little bit because now executive producer Jay looks like Russ. And I have someone else on the other side of me who is John. And as I said, we have the San Diego American Flag Football League representatives here who are going to talk to us about flag football and calendars and hotness and sweating and pinching butts and everything. So welcome, boys.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of course. My pleasure. So first I'm going to start with Russ.
Yes.
What's going on? Tell us what's going on with San Diego flag football. When does the season start? Because, you know, we're a sponsor, a media sponsor.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we thank you for that. We love that you guys are a media sponsor.
We love it.
Actually, we just wrapped up the season in June.
Okay.
What we're doing is we're actually getting ready for the Gay Bowl, which is kind of the Super Bowl of gay flag football. So this year we've been fortunate enough to be able to send 3 teams. We're sending the Bolts, we're sending the Toros, and the newly added team, the Sharks. And because of a very strange weather and, you know, crazy snafu last year, there were 4 national champions, and we actually have 2 of them. Exactly, yeah, exactly. So the Toros and the Bolts are national champions, but we're also tied with 2 other cities because it was the semifinals, and we were unable to play because of the weather. I mean, it was like grapes. First, it was like grapes of wrath, dust, and then it was like monsoon the next day.
Pretty much out of the blue.
Yes.
But how are the teams determined? How are the teams that are going to the Gay Bowl?
To the Gay Bowl, yep.
Determined. Who?
From San Diego?
Yeah.
We picked the best of the best.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Oh, that's lame. No, it's kind of like the Olympics, right?
No, well, let's rephrase that. Okay. Actually, what happens is, for the teams this year, the captains had a choice to maintain the entire team from last year, because you know, something that's super important with teams is being able to maintain chemistry.
Right.
And so you know, chemistry is something that is built. So they really wanted to kind of have that opportunity. So they had the opportunity of keep the team the way it was,
right,
all 20, or keep 15 and draft 5, or keep 10 and draft 10.
Okay.
So the captains were given that decision, and then however many they ended up drafting was determined by a pool of the captains during the league. So all the players were evaluated during the entire season, and then the captains were asked to submit their top 5, and then from there is a committee that will then kind of narrow it down, and then there's a draft process, and then the teams are announced.
Okay. So it's not you take the team that won the big San Diego championship and they're the ones that go.
No. I mean, you know, it really all depends on the captain, on how much of the team they want to bring back. You know, there are a lot of reasons why people aren't able to come back. You know, school schedules. Sometimes people will have moved away. And you know, I'll be perfectly honest. You know, we had a draft class that came in this year that had a lot of really good players. And you know, it's the captain's prerogative to take a look and see, you know, if there are any other players that maybe could replace some players.
Okay.
You know, because first and foremost, we want to bring a championship back to San Diego. Again, exactly.
So
exactly.
You said there were, because of the weather and all the issues, there were 4 teams that were awarded
the championship.
The championship.
Exactly. It's a shared championship.
Is it normally only one?
Normally, there's only one.
Okay.
But look at it this way: we have 2 teams that won the championship.
Yes. Right.
So 50% of the teams, you know, both of our teams, we were intent on.
Us, New York, Arizona, and us.
Yeah.
How many teams play? How many teams?
I would say just under 30 teams.
Yeah.
But that's spread over 2 divisions.
Okay.
And last year, both San Diego teams were in the A division.
Okay.
And this year we have 2 teams that are in the A division, the Toros and the Bolts again. In fact, the Toros were seeded number 1. I'm sorry, Eric. He's gonna kill me.
Oh shit.
The Bolts were seeded number 1, and the Toros were seeded number 3. And the 3rd team that was recently just added, the Sharks, are seeded number 30 out of 30 teams. So they are the underdog to look out for, but do not sleep on this team. This is an A caliber team. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So can any area or any city, let's say, how many cities send teams to the Gay Bowl?
Well, you know, I should know how many cities go, but I think for the most part, it really depends on the size of the city and then kind of the infrastructure of the gay community within the city to want to organize something like this.
Okay.
You know,
well, San Diego actually has one of the largest.
Exactly, the largest leagues in the city.
That's what I was gonna just
Exactly.
ask.
In fact, we have again one of the largest leagues in the city, and other cities look to us to model their program off of. And you know, Steve Cramsey, who is a fantastic designer, he does a lot of the design and the logo work, and he actually has done a lot of the logo work across all of the new teams.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so San Diego has got quite a reach, whether from advising other cities to doing the logo work. You know, again, San Diego is looked at as kind of the blueprint for a lot of other cities to model their teams after.
So when did the because it was SDFFL, now it's SDAFFL.
Now SDAFFL, yep.
AFL. When was your first season? When did it start?
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because next year is going to be our 10th season.
Oh, see?
So yeah, so we're looking at 2003, and it's really funny how this all started. Just a bunch of guys that just wanted to play football and kind of organize it a little bit more to kind of where it is to today. You know, it literally is has experienced quite a progression, and we actually just recently received our 501c3 status. So now we are a recognized nonprofit, and you know, this is something that's huge because, you know, in addition to kind of the guys just wanting to play football, which is kind of where it started from, you know, we do a lot of philanthropic work. You know, this past year we raised the you know, we had a teddy bear drive to raise teddy bears for the kids at Rady's Children's Hospital, and the year before that we did the Easter basket drive, and the next year we are thinking about maybe trying to raise you know, have a drive to raise equipment for San Diego Unified School Districts.
Oh, awesome.
Because, you know, budgets have pretty much decimated a lot of the physical, the PE budgets. So
the curriculums, and
yeah, so we want to help that out as much as possible.
We've had people talk about that, and that's so great that you guys would do that.
So we definitely, you know, again, it's kind of evolved, which is fantastic. You know, we still are kind of that group of guys that loves to play football and drink afterwards, but you know,
and the spectators that drink during. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Drink during the. In fact, some people I think play a little bit better, a little bit. You know, I'm not going to name names, but you know, on the record, we're not supposed to be drinking at the field. So
exactly. That's why we're not saying anything.
Exactly.
It's only the cheerleaders drinking in their cars.
It's only the cheerleaders. Exactly.
So how many teams did you guys have this year? Because this year was like the biggest year that you've had.
Our biggest season. Did we have 16? We had 16 teams
in 2 divisions.
One division.
No, one division.
No, in one division.
Exactly. In fact, next year we anticipate. You know, this is a fantastic problem to have. Growth.
Yeah.
So next year we may literally have to explore something like that because. You know, just to be able to accommodate everybody, you know, and our whole motto is, you know, everybody plays. You know, we've got a team that has, you know, people that played in college to someone who has never touched a ball in their life. Never played on a team, never participated in anything that you know, had a captain that had any kind of a structure like that. And you know, for me, I think that's probably where we can do the best outreach.
Do they feel intimidated and the camaraderie just keeps them there? Because that's what I would think. They would go to a clinic because you guys are very organized. Very organized. You have your clinics, you have your draft, you guys have everything is all scheduled out, and your big events, which we love.
Yes.
But when you have your clinics and then you guys do your draft, you're picking your team members. Are the captains shying away from those that have never touched a ball before? because I would think that, you know, I want a winning team, so
yeah, absolutely,
I don't want homeboy
absolutely. Well, you know what's funny is, I mean, and I wish they were here, because there are people who've been with the league for years, and people who would actually put themselves in that position of never having touched a ball, never having played team sports, who are actually on the national team, who have actually become good enough to go to the Gay Bowl. And I would say, you know, the captains, you know, I'm there during the draft, so I'm not going to divulge what happened in the draft. But, you know, the captains look at so much more. They look at the potential in a player, because, you know, maybe they may not have the skills at that point to catch, or maybe, you know, be completely familiar with a route tree, but that player could have the drive to learn
Motivation.
it. That player could be athletic. I mean, how many queens have you seen who are completely, like, you know, built, body of death, but have never played sports?
Can't run 50 yards
exactly.
before going.
Exactly. You know, these are the guys, you know, they kind of trick you a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, but these are the guys who will put in the time and will put in the work, who are completely driven, who will completely shock you at the end of the season. You know, we have a Rookie of the Year award that we give out, and a lot of times it's for people who again have shown such great improvement from the beginning, and then we also have that kind of prerequisite Most Improved Player of the Year. And that's an award that we give for every team. So there are 16 awards, and there's one Rookie of the Year. So, you know, you'd be surprised.
Actually, last year was my first year playing.
I was just going to ask.
And he played on the national team last year.
I never played football before.
In your life.
In my life.
French fries.
I never
That's a
played
football
football.
fan. I don't really know what that means.
I never played football, and this is my first time
And he
actually
was
playing
so-
a sport. I actually team sport, and I ended up going to the national team. I'm a rusher, so
Absolutely, which requires speed.
Right.
And I remember, like, when he showed up, like at the beginning at the rookie clinics, people just be like, "Oh my God, who's that? Who's that?" And they were just all shocked that, number one, he was fast, but they were so shocked that he'd never played sports before. So case in point, this is a gentleman who kind of, you know, looks the part, is athletic, you know, is buff, and has potential, and, you know, has obviously been able to kind of, you know, prove his mettle.
So what was your catalyst for joining? Did you just want you wanted to try it to see if you liked it? Or?
No, actually, I had just moved here, and I saw like a documentary about the
Flag football documentary?
Yeah, flag football. And it was different sports, like gays and different sports, and I thought it'd be a great way to meet people, and it was. I met so many great people in San Diego, and then I would never have met, you know, coming just going to a bar every night.
Right.
So it was a great social experience, and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. If we didn't have football, we'd be a gang.
Well, I was just going to say, but the one thing that is, I think, really fantastic about all of the teams is that not only do the teams become good friends, but the league itself is really a close-knit league. You guys
It really is.
Together.
It really is. And, you know, the thing is, that is, you know, our presence is felt after every game, and that's why, you know, our sponsors love us, because, you know, we give back, you know, to our sponsors. You know, our 16 sponsors this year, exactly, to our sponsors. You know, any way we can give back, you know, after every game, we will schedule an event at a sponsor, and you know, it's at that point that we bring literally en masse the league and our friends, and we will drink, and we will eat, and we will be there for the whole afternoon, and we will come back. And exactly.
And it's Facebooked, and it's Twittered, and everybody talks about it for a week.
Exactly. So the money that the sponsors pay us is made literally back in, I would say, the first hour of us being there.
Right.
So we always want to make sure that we give our sponsors love, any opportunity that we can. You know, again, we love our sponsors. And, you know, next year, with us having more teams, you know, we literally had to turn sponsors away last year.
Yes, I know. I talked with Mike Paganelli, I talked with Jason, I talked with everybody. Listen, here's the thing.
Exactly.
I want a he said, she said team. I don't give a shit that we're media. I want a motherfucking he said, she said team. mean? We would have the best looking little
Absolutely,
shirts.
absolutely.
We would have the best shirts. See, I'm just saying, I don't like that rule that we can't be an actual team sponsor.
I think you should. I think you could. We got to work on this.
I think we have
We
to
got to
talk
work
to
on
some
this.
people.
Exactly.
We got to talk to those board members.
Remind me. Exactly. I'm on the board, so remind me.
See?
Exactly.
It starts with somebody. It always starts with somebody who's on the board. Remember that, producer Jay.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I want to talk more about the upcoming season, and I want to talk about what you guys have out. So we're going to give you a little flash right now, which is a little calendar, and it's the little pictures that we have behind us. But we'll be right back. We're back, and I have added more people to the table. And Ophelia is really pissed off right now that she is not here, because we are not only talking one of her favorite sports in the whole world, which is football. Now, I know she has been to the game. She goes and she sits and drinks.
She hosted one of our our cleats and briefs auctions.
The cleats and briefs auction. First, I'd like to introduce Tom. I'm sorry, everybody's going to be like, who the fuck is this guy? This is Tom Weigand. He is the one that is responsible for taking all the fantastic photos that you see on Facebook, on the website, and your website, which is
TomWeigand.com.
For all of the players. The best photos ever. I share them all the
Amazing
time.
candidates during the season. Amazing action shots.
That's too much candid. Too candid.
Well, the things that he was just telling me during the break that he was allowed to do during the little calendar shoot kind of makes me a little jealous. But, so we have John here, of course, who was in the calendar, and I'm glad you guys are all here because I want to talk about the calendar specifically. First of all, whose idea was the calendar?
I think that the calendar...
It was mine. I just want to point that out.
No.
It was totally mine a year and a half ago, talking to fucking Jason. I said, I want to do a calendar, but they all have to wear high heels.
The calendar?
And he said, no, they won't wear high heels.
Wait a minute.
Jason Havley was actually supposed to be in the calendar, but he couldn't pull it together with his travel schedule. The calendar, the idea for the calendar has been forever. Would you say, Tom? You've been, out of all of us, you've been with the league forever.
I've been with him for the whole 10 years, and at least the last 5 or 6 years.
Exactly.
Everybody said, we should do a calendar this year.
Exactly. It just, our league just keeps getting hotter and hotter.
They wait for me. They wait for me to show up.
So I think...
And then John came on board, and you were like, oh my God, calendar.
You know, I think it was kind of a perfect storm. I think what had happened was, obviously when you produce something like this, you know, you need a big team. You know, obviously Tom, as the photographer, was bought in from the get-go. But I think what had happened was, during the clinics and the rookie leagues, you know, it just started to kind of gel, and the team to kind of do the production, etc., kind of came together, and it literally got to a point where we had to put our money, you know, what is it saying? You put
money where your mouth is.
Exactly. So, you know, we kept. I think in the beginning it started off as a way as meet the rookies. Like, get the rookies to give us their name and be like, hey, you want to be in our calendar? And then it got to a point where we're just like, holy shit, we got to put a calendar out.
Exactly.
So that's kind of where it went.
Well, you've been taking the photos, like I said, for the league since the beginning?
2003.
2003.
But
beginning?
Yeah, since the very beginning. I had taken a photo of Ivan with his crotch rocket club.
Right.
And he emailed me and he said, I'm thinking of starting a football league. Would you like to take pictures? And that started with a point-and-shoot camera back then, and there were 12 guys playing. And ever since then, it's gotten bigger and bigger. And right now, with my team of photographers, because I can't do it by myself, and I couldn't even do this by myself, we have 7 of us.
Yeah.
7 photographers.
That had to grow too.
Yeah.
Just to be able to cover the games. It's huge.
There's how many games going on at a time?
3 games at a time, and
This year
3 games at a time, and three per day.
Yeah, we started out with 9 games per day, 3 fields, 3 start times, and it grew to 12 games.
Yeah.
And
some teams playing double headers.
Double headers.
Wow.
And what people don't realize when they see the photos is how many photos we had to start with and how long it takes to go through all those. So yeah, we have over 1,000 photos for every game that we have to get down to 100. So for that you need any particular photographer cannot take more than 2 games in a Saturday. Otherwise, they'd spend the whole week just trying to go through things. So that's why we needed all these photographers.
Yeah.
And we have an excellent team. And Scott Donald was the guy who was responsible for this photo.
Okay.
Scott Donald came with a score.
And he came up with the word score on there too.
And tell everybody who's on the cover of
Josh Sitting, exactly. Josh Sitting, cover boy.
Super duper hot. Everybody knows.
He's actually been on the cover of a couple things locally. So.
Oh yeah, he was on Raid.
This is the best.
This is the best.
But I think he might be at risk of being a little overexposed. So we may have to kind of dial him down a little bit. Well, Patrick may have to keep him in house.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Just saying. He might need a publicist.
Lock him up.
Mr. June as well.
Lock him up.
He is Mr. June. So I did spend a lot of time looking through this.
Yeah, let's wipe that off.
I'm kind of in love with every single photo that's in here, especially what month are the girls? They're there.
Oh, yes.
So this has got to be one of my favorite photos in here.
Christy and
the girls.
Yeah, they're great.
And Tom, tell the story that you were telling me. They don't wear makeup.
Yeah, when Christy and Sheena came by, neither one of them
Christy wears makeup now, by the way.
Oh, is she?
Yes.
Don't jump to the punchline. I told you, girl, wait till I'm done. They came on board, and what Scott and I were really, really worried about is that a lot of these guys did not have modeling experience, and there is some talent involved and there's work involved, and we didn't have a lot of time to get them up to speed. So Christy and Sheena came on board, and they're both beautiful women, and we had this set up as how we were going to do this, and they were arguing with us from the beginning because they said, we don't wear makeup. You know what? I don't know how to put lipstick on. You know, and all this stuff here, we went round and round, so we got them going, and we said, man, you guys are beautiful like this. And we got the picture going because they wanted to be all sweaty and dirty and greasy like the guys.
Exactly.
And we got this picture going with them, and it came out, and then Scott took some excellent photos of both the women outside, and they saw the photos, and now Christy wears makeup.
Oh, I did steal the punchline. Christy, who is a pro surfer.
Yes,
she is.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's great. I think she's a surf instructor now. She's fantastic. But
it was this.
I'm about to take some lessons from her.
Gorgeous.
They are
total
some
cover
gorgeous girls. I know you're going to be zooming in or whatever. See that, but. The idea behind the calendar was, it has been talked about for a while. You guys decided you're finally going to get your shit together and do it because there's so many hotties that. Well, was there a tryout or what did you do?
Well, wait a minute. That's good. The hotties is kind of for the real reason why we wanted to do the calendar was really to kind of showcase the diversity of the league.
Okay.
So it's a 15-month calendar, and what we wanted to do was we wanted to showcase a little bit of everything for everybody. So the reason why we picked different people, we picked straight guys who make up a huge percentage of our, not huge, but they make a percentage of our league.
10%.
That's
10% of our league. The Bears, the Twinks, the ladies.
Hey Bears.
We have a 15-month calendar. We would really try to have something for everybody because our community is diverse like this.
Yes. And they're all represented on the league.
We are very, very proud of the people. And it was a very, very tough decision, to narrow it down to as many people as we did. I mean,
how did you?
If it was,
first did they say, okay, I'll be involved in this, or did you have to go and be like, will you please be involved in the calendar?
Well, there were. I think there were a couple people who, we really, from the get-go, we had them in mind, and because they kind of encompassed, kind of the athleticism, and they were, hot, demographic, and they were a good spokesperson for the community.
Right.
I think for the most part, one thing that I really like to do as being a board member is I really like for us to kind of shatter stereotypes. Because when you think football, and you're thinking like, okay, that's
big
straight guys, big straight guys.
Yeah.
But when we think
helmets and gear and shit.
Exactly, and it's like when you see these people. I mean, these guys shatter stereotypes all the time.
It's very diverse. The football league is so diverse,
and we've got these girls who are gorgeous, who are actually, sorry to some of the guys who I'm thinking of, who are actually tougher than some of the guys.
Yeah, we have one girl on that team, and she.
Are you talking about Candace?
No, we have Rachel.
Oh, Rachel is a baller.
Shout out to Rachel.
Exactly. So this is, again, we would have loved to included everybody, but again, for the most part, we tried as best as we can to give you a good cross section of the team, trying to meet all the different demographics.
Well, now all of those that didn't want to be involved or were scared to have their photo taken, now that they've seen it, they'll be like, oh, bitch, I'm going to be in line next calendar.
I've got text messages, I've got Facebook messages, I've got boyfriends who are just like, why is my boyfriend not in the calendar?
Really?
I've got a couple of people who are like, give me 6 months, I will hit the gym, I will hit the calendar.
We're having tryouts next year.
Okay.
Exactly. It's couch casting session.
He said, she said. Yes, we will absolutely be responsible for
Maybe
those.
what we need to do is literally have like a he said, she said, like watcher, like have them vote.
Like a little voting, like a little voting segment.
Exactly. Have them say like, who should be in it.
I love
have all the guys come up and have them.
You should be in the calendar.
They get 5 minutes at the end of every show. Here,
to say why they should be.
Tell us why you should be on it. Show us your crunk.
Your crunk.
Who's your favorite?
Well, of course, I don't even have to say it more than once. But what month is he? He's April. I've already figured out the month. Oh my God, I'm going the wrong direction. So, Aaron.
Who's April? Wait, that's April. Oh, he's John.
John is totally my favorite. John is also my second favorite. Would be. Damn it.
No, they're earlier.
Are they really?
You what?
Yes, I think they're
They're stuck together already? Oh, it's a
swoon.
A double hitter.
Is there one of the two that is your favorite?
Yes.
No.
Right there.
Like I said, something for everybody.
Little Aaron.
Little Aaron.
Who is actually the captain of one of the national teams. He's a captain.
Yeah,
he's a captain. And he's doing an excellent job mobilizing that team.
So do a lot of the captains, they have to come with like collegiate or some sort of high school experience and they know how to do that?
Aaron is I think for the most part to be able to lead a team like that, you have to have, a certain level of prerequisite knowledge and obviously being able to be a good leader.
Right.
And his team during the season is fantastic. It is fantastic.
Which team is his?
He was the Hitman.
Was the Hitman?
Yeah. I think was it
Who's the Hitman?
The Hitman. What is their sponsor? The karaoke bar.
No, it wasn't Slick.
Red Wing Hitman. Exactly. Strong.
What team were you?
I was the Range.
Who was the most? What team had the most personality?
Oh, that's hard to say.
I don't know. I defer to you guys. Was it?
Fiesta Cantina.
Yeah, because that was Joe Sims, who was like,
of course,
exactly.
Who was the most coordinated?
Exactly.
Who was the most coordinated?
Yeah,
was it you guys? It was between you guys or
you talking
uniform coordinated.
No, actually they wanted. We were our gang.
It was our gang.
It was between our gang and it was between Bourbon Street, between the most coordinated.
No, it was between Fiesta and Bourbon Street.
Really?
Yeah, Bourbon Street. Remember they had the green.
Yeah, because
and Bourbon Street won it for the most I guess best dressed team.
Okay, yeah.
Are these actually awards that you guys?
Oh yeah.
These are actually awards that you guys give out during the little.
Yeah, at our banquet. Yeah.
I mean, say little, rather large.
Yeah, it was pretty large.
Those awards, and I give out a series of awards on my own, which are quite funny actually.
especially after he's had a few.
Yeah, some teams all decked out.
They're extremely funny.
Exactly. So, well, let's talk about the calendar a little bit more.
Please.
Yeah, totally. Bring it back to the calendar.
Tell me.
So, really quickly, Tom Weigand and Scott Donald are responsible for capturing the amazing images that are in the calendar. And again, this was a 6-month process. And it was. I mean, we started out with thousands and thousands and thousands of images. So we're talking literally, the production team, and then Tom and Scott literally narrowing down the images. And even after that, it was just such a tough process. So, but we are very, very happy with the images that were.
You really should be, because this is a gorgeous.
It rivals like those calendars you buy in bookstores.
Oh yeah,
totally.
Well, it should be sold in bookstores, and
exactly. We are going to. You'll be looking for us in some of the San Diego retailers, and obviously after today, you'll be able to buy the calendar online, www.sdaffl.com. And it retails for $20, and 100% of the proceeds go back to the league.
Yes. And that money helps you guys pay for.
You would be surprised, our fees, field space. You can't just like show up with almost 300 people wanting to play.
Explain that a little bit, because I don't think people realize. They think you just show up at a park and you can play.
Yeah, get there early and hog the space. John, can you get there early?
First come, first serve.
Throw cones down for the entire field.
No, you kids cannot play frisbee here.
Exactly. It is again going back to the organization of the league. There's something that people don't realize is we do this literally 6 months in advance, where we have to reserve these fields.
Insurance.
Insurance. We pay for insurance. We pay for the referees. All of that stuff. The money that we raise from fundraisers, from stuff like this, goes back to that. The $100, I think $20, $125 for registration that players pay, literally just goes back to the player. That goes back to the uniforms. And again, paying the referees, and holding something like this is an expensive endeavor.
Right, but it's worth it because of what they get out of it.
Absolutely.
And you are kind of a prime example of that. You wouldn't have taken photos for as long as you've taken photos if it wasn't something that everybody really, really, really loved.
And you get paid.
Well, if you didn't get paid, would you kind of probably still do it? You'd be like, oh, Aaron Tromeyer.
That's not him.
Here, let me move your Speedo down a little bit.
You want to ask what my favorite month is? Because I actually have 2 favorites.
Tell me it's March.
Tell me it's April.
What's your favorite month?
My favorite month is August, because I was born in August.
Of course.
And that's
Leos.
Chris Sproles. His nickname is Juicebox, and he's actually on.
Why is his nickname Juicebox?
Why is that?
I actually give him that nickname, and to be perfectly honest,
Juicebox?
I think he loves the nickname. And I'm looking at the camera and telling you right now, I've forgotten why I gave him the name Juicebox. So that's Chris Sproles. He's August, and my next favorite is September.
September.
Exactly. Jeremy. Who holds a very special place in my heart. September.
Are you dating?
Jeremy is one of the 10%. Jeremy's straight.
He's a 10%.
Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly. He's homosocial. We like to call him homosocial.
Homosocial. I like that.
Or gay adjacent. But yes, and he is actually he's actually the month of one of the gentlemen on our production team, Brian Blues, who was adamant about having Jeremy as September.
There's Jack, who we were
Jack, we love Jack. He actually won't be able to make any of our promotional tours. So
no.
Tomorrow we're going to be at the top of the park.
Top of the park.
Yeah, top of the park. To promote the calendar. Exactly.
What did they do there? What's it called?
Top of the. Well, it's in the park. Top of the park. The Fridays thing.
Yeah. How's it called?
It's just top of the park.
Happy hour.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy hour.
I'm like, fuck, we've been doing it for years, right?
It's happy hour now.
Josh is going to be there. Cover model Josh is going to be there. He's going to be on hand to take photos, and to sign.
I want to make sure that everybody realizes that Josh has a boyfriend.
Oh, yes.
Who is that fun?
Who is actually going to be there as well.
Yes.
Exactly. But I think he really enjoys the fact that Josh
gets a lot of attention.
Gets a lot of attention, because I think at the end of the day, Josh comes home to him.
Of course.
John Proctor is going to be.
I'll be there, and I'm single.
John, Exactly. John Proctor, I'll be there. It's a little complicated with me, but you know.
Oh, it's complicated, according to Facebook.
So Tom will be there. Tom is on hand again. Tom and Scott, who've just done an amazing job, right? Sean Brunley is high on my list as well.
We love Sean. Sean is big in our bear circle, which we talk about often, and we love Sean. He's amazing. And
I have to join this bear circle.
So, how much if like one day, because you know this could go like super famous, like everywhere.
Totally.
It could be sold on Amazon.com. It could be on HuffPost. It could be on Joe My
This is a limited run. We only got 500 of these.
Okay.
In fact, the one you have right now is number 3 of 500. It is a collector's edition.
So, if somebody signed this,
value just went up.
See,
John Proctor.
Yes.
It would
be
go
there
up
this
more.
summer.
I'll be there.
Dead. So, just kidding.
Don't worry, I won't kill you.
But if you got everybody to sign one,
exactly,
and then you did a little benefit fundraiser thing too, that would be kind of hot, especially if they included their. Do you know how much that would go for? I'm just pointing it out. Nobody said they had to give the real actual phone number. Just a phone number.
555.
It's gotta start with 555.
It's got to start with 619. That's what it's got to start with.
619 555.
Well, I'm so glad that you guys did this. Tell everybody again,
thank you for having us. Exactly. Be able to buy it online, buy it at Top of the Park, buy it at Baby Case on Sunday. We'll be there for church after 5 o'clock.
Gotta go to church.
Yeah, gotta go to church. Repent your sins.
Exactly. Then make some more.
We will, of course, be linking to the site, so you can link from this episode to go directly to the site so you can buy it. And
we've got some for you as well.
See, this is what I love. So we have swag, and we love swag. So our swag is, how many do we have to give away to
we have
fabulous viewers? We have 2. So the first 2 commenters below will be getting one of these, and they may or may not be signed by John with his phone number. We don't know. But maybe we could get Tom to sign them with his phone number, so you could call him for a
even better.
So, you guys have been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us so much.
Thank you so much.
You are awesome. We cannot wait for the new season to start. Tell us when the new season starts.
The new season, well, we've got the pub crawl, which is kind of the signal that we're looking, and we pull people off the streets to have fun, to drink, to get to know members, talk about the league. And then we have rookie clinics, so we're looking at starting at the beginning of the year, probably around late January, February.
Yeah. Got it.
And then the season itself, after teams are started and picked, it starts in March.
Yeah, starts in March.
So
it is August, people. You've got until March to get your asses in shape. Get in shape. Start running.
Root for us, Gay Bowl is in September. Root for us to bring home 2 championships.
Oh, that's right, the Gay Bowl. Where's the Gay Bowl?
The Gay Bowl is in Denver this year.
Denver.
We're looking to bring back 2 championships in the A division and the B division.
Yes.
Because we are that good.
We will be spreading the word far and wide on He Said, She Said. I'm so glad that you guys were here. Thank you for joining us. Ophelia, you missed out. I had lots of Nathan Man photos here, and
sorry
you didn't
about
get to see any of them. So we'll see you next week. Thank you all, everybody. See ya. Bye.